Okay, so today we are going to continue with our syllabus. Okay, kita akan sambung dengan confidence interval of population proportion. Okay, so kalau sebelum ni kita recall balik, let's recall. Okay, so kita recall confidence interval of population mean. Okay, so apa yang kita buat? Okay, so we are taking our x bar here. Okay, and then we are going to find the interval. This is for mu. So kita nak tengok mu kita berada di mana. Okay, so this is our x bar, this is our mu, this is our mu. So kita nak cari interval kita. What is the value here, and then what is the value here? Okay, so that is your confidence interval of population mean. And for mu, our formula is, okay, x bar minus z alpha over 2, okay, minus z alpha over 2 square root sigma square over n, x bar plus z alpha over 2 square root sigma square over n. So ini adalah confidence interval of population mean yang kita dah belajar sebelum ni. So now, in population proportion, okay, apa yang kita nak buat dalam population proportion? So number one, kita nak cari dekat tengah adalah proportion sample, and then kita nak cari confidence interval. Okay, berapa nilai di ujung dan berapa nilai di ujung. So ini yang kita nak cari, confidence interval. Okay, so let me give you the procedure for you to find your confidence interval of population proportion. So the steps. Okay, step 1, you have to define your x. Okay, how do you define your x? So you can write, let x equals to whatever it is. But you must remember, because this is proportion, you must write in favor of p. Okay, you must write in favor of p. Okay, and then number 2, you must apply normal approximation. Okay, oh, before I forgot this one, you can write your x followed by binomial and p, because proportion is also your binomial. So we apply normal approximation. So since np equals to berapa, nq equals to berapa, and then both of them more than 5, therefore normal approximation can be applied. Okay, so bila awak apply normal approximation, so this one saya nak awak tulis PS follow normal distribution. Okay, this one kita tulis sebagai P, this one sebagai PQ over N. Okay, P, PQ over N. Okay, so here awak buat nota sikit. Okay, previously dalam probability of proportion we apply continuity correction, but here we ignore continuity correction. Okay, so that you don't have to plus or minus 1 over 2n. So that is your step number 2. Okay, your step number 3. Step number 3. Okay, so apa yang perlu kita tulis? Step number 3 adalah confidence interval. Okay, so apa yang awak nak cari? For example, you are looking for 95% confidence interval. So if 95% confidence interval, the process is the same like your population mean, the same like before. So 95% confidence interval, your alpha is your variance, which is 0.05. Therefore, your alpha over 2 is 0.025. Therefore, your z alpha over 2 equals to berapa? So you have to sketch first. Okay, so in the middle is 95%, so 0.95, and then you lower it. So here is 0.025, here is another 0.025. So this is your z alpha over 2. So you refer to your table, critical value 95 plus 25. Okay, so berapa kita dapat? Okay, you refer to your table. Okay, buka table awak, tengok page belakang sekali. So this one is 97.5, so 0.975, so this is 1.96. Okay, tengok dekat table awak. Okay, so that is your step 1, step 2, and step 3. So we go to step 4. Okay, step 4 kita ada formula. Okay, so you write down your formula. Formula what? More or less it is like before. Okay, more or less like before. Except now, x bar kita tak tulis x bar. X bar kita akan gantikan dengan PS. Kalau sebelum ni x bar di tengah-tengah, sekarang PS berada di tengah-tengah. So this is your PS minus z alpha over 2 square root. So now kalau awak tengok di sini, this is your variance. So we must take square root of this. Square root of PQ over N. PS plus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. Okay? So inilah yang takut kita nak buat. And then macam biasa, your step number 5 is to sub and answer. Okay, so ini adalah 5 step yang kita akan guna in order for us to tackle question regarding confidence interval of population proportion. Okay, so kita tengok example sebab ini adalah step-step yang kita boleh follow in order for us to calculate the confidence interval of population proportion. Number 1, remember when you define your x must be in favor of p. Tengok P awak, apa your probability of success awak. And then awak boleh tulis X followed by binomial of Y. Because ini adalah probability of success and number of trial. And then kita kira NP and Q berapa. Therefore normal approximation can be applied. Ini adalah sama macam CLT. Kalau sebelum ini kita apply CLT, untuk proportion kita apply normal approximation. Kenapa normal approximation? Ini adalah daripada binomial. Kita nak guna proportion distribution. Okay, so NP more than 5, NQ more than 5, therefore normal approximation can be applied. This is our distribution for sample proportion P PQ over N. Okay, P PQ over N. Okay, and then this is your same method like before. So now let's look at one example. Okay, jom kita tengok example 16.22. Okay, example 16.22. Okay, and in further orders a large assignment of 4 pesos. Okay, when it arrived, okay, a random sample of 50 boxes. examine a random sample of 50 boxes of potatoes and finds that 13 boxes contain at least 2 bad potatoes. Find and approximate %98 confidence interval for the proportion of boxes containing at least 2 bad potatoes. Okay. Okay, let's look at example 16.22. Okay, an importer orders a large assignment of potatoes. When it arrives, he examines a random sample of 50 boxes. So these 50 boxes will become your N of potatoes and finds that 30 boxes contain at least 2 bad potatoes. So this 13 will give you a clue, will give you a hint. What do we mean by 13? So 13 out of 50 will become your proportion. Okay? Find and approximate 98% confidence interval. Therefore, this 98 is your confidence interval for the proportion of boxes containing at least 2 bad potatoes. So bila awak nak buat, step pertama, okay, step 1, you have to define your X. X awak adalah number of boxes. Okay, you define like that. Number of boxes containing, okay, containing at least 2 bad potatoes. Okay, after you define your X, please define your P. What do we mean by P? Because later on, we are going to work in terms of P. So define your P dulu. Your P is you change saja exactly the same thing except you change from number, you change kepada proportion. Okay, so this one akan jadi proportion of boxes containing at least 2 bad potatoes. Okay, so that is your step number 1, and then we can define our X will follow binomial and P. What is N? N awak adalah 50, P awak adalah 13 out of 50. Okay, and then step 2, you check your NP. Okay, 50 times 13 out of 50, which is 13, and Q. 50 times, how do you get your Q? 1 minus P. 1 minus P is your Q, therefore 37 out of 50, which is 37. Since NP more than 5, NQ more than 5, therefore normal approximation can be applied. Okay, when you apply normal approximation, therefore you can write your PS. No need to write your X follow N. Straight away today's distribution of your PS follow normal P. P awak adalah 13 out of 50 PQ over N. 30 over 50 is your P. Q awak adalah 37 over 50. N awak adalah 50. Okay. So step 1 and then step 2. Step 3. Okay. So step 3 adalah confidence interval. We are looking for 98% confidence interval. So 98% confidence interval. Okay, so 98%. Bila awak dapat 98% means that your alpha is the balance of it. Balance saya adalah alpha is 0.02. Alpha over 2 is 0.01. Therefore, my Z alpha over 2. Okay, so bila saya nak tentukan yang terakhir, I must sketch. Okay, so di tengah-tengah saya adalah 0.98. So balance saya adalah 0.01. Here is 0.01. Okay, so this is my Z alpha over 2. That side. Okay, so Z alpha over 2 that side, which is 99%. You refer to your textbook, awak akan dapat 2.326. Okay, so 2.326. Okay, so now step 1, step 2, step 3 done. Step 4, I must write my formula. PS minus Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N. PS plus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. Okay, this one you sub. What is your PS? Sample proportion, the P. So, I will dapat 13 out of 50 minus Z alpha over 2. 2.326 square root. Square root of your variance. Variance awak adalah PQ over N. 13 over 50. 37 over 50 divided by 50. And then the same thing, I just change from minus to plus. 13 over 50 plus 2.326. 13, 50, 37, 50 divided by 50. So you press your calculator. Okay, you put everything. Okay, this one I get 0.1157. Okay, if I change minus to plus, okay, I will get 4043. Make sure you write your bracket as your confidence interval. So this is your answer for your confidence interval, 98% confidence interval. Okay, let's look at example 16.23. Okay, you are given in a survey carried out in town A, 15 adults. Okay, so kita ada town A. Town A, apa yang saya ada dalam town A? 15 adults out of 60 exercise regularly. Okay, so now we are required to find 95% confidence interval. Okay, that is for town A. Okay, let's look at for town B. Okay, town B, 28 adults out of 100 exercise regularly. So this one we also require to find 95% confidence interval. Okay, and then after that, the third part of the question, on the basis of this survey, is there any evidence? Is there any evidence proportion town B higher than proportion town A? Proportion town B higher than town A. Okay, so ini adalah kehendak soalan kita. So let's take town A dulu, because you have to do the first confidence interval for town A, second confidence interval for town B, and then we have to compare between those two. Okay, kita nak bandingkan antara the first confidence interval dengan second confidence interval. Is there any evidence town B is higher than town A? Okay, so let's do this one. Okay, let's do for town A dulu. Okay, I define my X. X adalah number of adults in town A exercise regularly. And then my P is proportion of adults in town A exercise regularly. Therefore, my X follow binomial N saya adalah 60. My P is 15 out of 60, which is 1/4. And then I check NP, which is 1/4 times 60, which is 15. NQ is 60 times 3/4. How do I get 3/4? 1 minus 1/4, which is 45. So you write down your conclusion. Since NP more than 5, NQ more than 5, therefore normal approximation can be applied. Okay, so bila kita apply normal approximation, we write PS follow normal distribution P 1/4 PQ over N, PQ over N. Okay, this is my variance. Okay, so kita nak berapa? 95% confidence interval. Okay, 95% confidence interval. Okay, so 95% alpha saya adalah 0.05. Alpha over 2 0.025. Therefore, my Z alpha over 2 I need to sketch first. So 0.95 here, 0.025 here, 0.025 here. So this is my confidence interval. That is your Z alpha over 2. So from here to here 95%. Kita tengok dalam jadual awak akan dapat 1.96. Okay? Okay, so that is your step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 4, formula PS minus Z alpha over 2, PQ over N, PS plus Z alpha over 2, PQ over N. Okay, so proportion awak adalah 1 over 4 minus Z alpha awak adalah 1.96, square root P awak adalah 1 over 4, 3 over 4 out of 60. So the same thing, I just need to change from part minus jadi plus 1.96, 1 over 4, 3 over 4 out of 60. So the next process is pressing your calculator. So 1 over 4 minus 1.96 square root 1 over 4, 3 over 4, you divide by 60. Okay, so this one you will get 0.1404. Okay, and then you change from minus to plus, you should get 0.3596. Okay, so that is your answer for your town A. Okay, town A done. For town B, okay, for town B, proportion for town B, okay, saya boleh guna yang sama. Proportion for town B, okay, the PS adalah 28 out of 100 ataupun 0.28. And then the process are actually the same throughout everything, including the Z alpha over 2, because we are taking 95%. So the steps are all the same, so we can straight away jump to here. Okay, so PS minus Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N, PS plus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. This one PQN adalah untuk town B. Okay, and then the rest are the same as town A because we are taking the same confidence interval level. Okay, so this one adalah 0.28 minus 1.96. P saya adalah 28. Q saya adalah 1 minus 0.28 which is 72. Divide by 100. 0.28 plus Z alpha over 2 saya adalah 1.96. 0.28 times 0.72 divide by 100. Okay, so this one also you just press your calculator. Okay, 0.28 minus 1.96 square root 0.28 times 0.72 divided by 100. So you will get 0.1920. Okay, change minus to plus 0.3680. Okay, so this is your confidence interval for town A. This is for town B. Okay, so we done for town A, done for town B. So now, is there evidence proportion in town B higher than town A? Okay, jom kita buat number line. Okay, untuk town A, 1404. This is 1404 until 3596. 3596. Okay, this is for town A. Okay, for town B, 1920. Okay, until 3680. Okay, so if you look at here, in between here, okay, in between here, okay, from here, kalau awak tengok ada titik persilangan. Okay, kita ada intersection between A and B. Okay, the green one is B, red one is A. So kalau awak tengok ada titik persilangan, okay, it is not completely B more than A. Sebab mungkin juga A berada di hujung sini, B berada di hujung sini. So A mungkin lagi besar daripada B. So B is not completely more than A. So we cannot say that proportion of B is higher than A. So from here, therefore, there is no evidence that proportion in town B is higher than town A. Okay, there is no evidence. Macam mana kalau ada evidence? Evidence dia macam ni kalau ada yang higher. This is your town A. This is your town B. Okay, kalau awak dapat macam ni, this is evidence ada, because B is completely higher than A. This one bila ada intersect, kita tak ada evidence yang kukuh untuk mengatakan B is higher than A. Dia mesti B berada extra, lebih daripada A. Barulah kita ada evidence to say that B is higher than A. Okay? one is estimating sample size. Okay, so kalau dia bagi kepada awak beberapa situation, they require you to calculate or estimate the sample size. Okay, so before we go into detail, jom kita tengok apa yang kita dah belajar. Number one, seperti biasa, awak ada standard error. Okay, kalau kita pergi kepada this one terus. Okay, so kita ada PS. Di tengah-tengah awak adalah PS. Di hujung sini dan di hujung sini adalah awak punya confidence interval. So from here, from this end until this end, okay, how do we go from PS to the end? You plus Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N. This one you will minus Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N. So from PS in the middle, you will go to the end by plus Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N. From PS, you go to the left with minus. Okay, itu adalah proses dia. So from this info, how do you get your interval width? Okay, so apa formula kita? Tulis formula dulu. PS minus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N, PS plus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. Okay, so this is your formula. Macam mana awak dapat the interval width? Maksudnya daripada yang atas, awak tolak yang bawah. So when you minus, awak akan dapat 2 Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. That is your interval width. Okay. Lagi satu, macam mana kita nak cari estimation error. Okay, this one is more or less similar like what we have done before. Estimation error. So apa yang kita maksudkan dengan error? The distance from PS to one end, from here to here. So this one saya hanya ambil satu side sahaja, so I just take one only. So Z alpha over 2 square root of PQ over N. So these two kita akan guna later in order for us to determine the number of sample N, sample size. Okay, let's look at example 16.24. Okay, example 16.24. In a sample of 400. So here, saya dah dapat saya punya N. It is found that 128 of shops sell watches below price list recommended. So this 128 will contribute kepada proportion later on. Okay. Estimate the percentage of shops selling watches below price list. So kita kena start soalan. Bila awak nak start soalan, bila awak nak start jawab, biasakan diri awak define X awak dulu. So I define my X equals to number of shops. Selling watches below price list recommended. Selling watches below price list. Okay, that is your X. Okay, lepas awak dah tulis X, tulis P awak because we are going to work in terms of proportion later on. So P saya akan saya tukar daripada perkataan number, tukar kepada proportion of shops selling watches below price list recommended. Okay, therefore, okay, kita tak belum lagi dapat confidence interval. Okay, this one saya nak cari estimate the percentage. The question say percentage. Percentage of shops selling watches below price list. Okay, so percentage dia adalah, okay, ini nampak tak perkataan estimate the percentage? Maksudnya kita nak cari unbiased estimate. So saya boleh cari PX. PS saya adalah 128 over 400. Okay, I press my calculator. Okay, 128 over 400. So saya dapat 8 over 25. Ini adalah sample proportion. Okay, sample proportion. Soalan minta estimate the percentage. Maksudnya dia minta estimate population proportion. Okay, soalan tak cakap estimate the sample percentage. Soalan cakap estimate the percentage. Okay, and then this one you have to multiply by 100 lah, because the question asks for percentage. So times 100. This one adalah 32%. So soalan minta P hat. P hat equals to PS equals to 32%. Okay, so this is your question A. And okay, question 2. Okay, untuk question 2 we have to calculate an approximate of 95% confidence interval. Okay, so proses yang sama we define already. Okay, so saya boleh tulis X follow binomial and P saya adalah 0.32. Okay, saya nak buat dalam bentuk decimal dulu. Saya tak nak pakai persen. Later, bila saya dah dapat jawapan, barulah saya tukar kepada persen. Okay. Okay, so step 1 done. Step 2, NP and Q for 100 times 8 over 32%, so 0.3. Okay, NQ for 100 times 0.68. Okay, so you press your calculator. 400 times 0.32, 128. This one 400 times 0.68, 272. So dua-dua lebih besar daripada 5, since NP more than 5, NQ more than 5, therefore normal approximation can be applied. Okay, so kita nak apply normal approximation, kita tulis PS will follow normal distribution P. P saya adalah 0.32. Okay, PQ over N. N saya adalah 400. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, 95%. 95% confidence interval. So kalau 95%, my alpha is 0.05, my alpha over 2 is 0.025, and my z alpha over 2 is, you have to sketch first. This is your 0.95 and then you go back. Okay, so this is your 0.025, 0.025. Okay, this is your z alpha over 2. So untuk 95%, 95 plus 2.5%, awak akan dapat 1.96. Okay, you refer to your table. Okay, after that kita tulis formula PS minus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. PS plus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. So my PS adalah 0.32, 1.96 PQ over N. PQ over N. N saya adalah 400. Okay, so you write the same thing. Okay, so now it is the job of your calculator. Okay, so 0.32 minus 1.96 square root, 0.32 times 0.68 divided by 400. 0.2743. Okay, you change from minus to plus, 0.3657. This one adalah in terms of decimal. Okay, tapi soalan minta dalam bentuk percentage, so saya boleh tukar balik dalam bentuk percentage. This one akan jadi 27.43%, 36.57%. Okay, and explain briefly what it means by the 95% confidence interval. So here, if the question asks you, macam mana nak explain what do we mean by confidence interval? Okay, ayat dia awak boleh tulis. Okay, this one awak take note how to explain confidence interval. Okay, so saya boleh tulis we are 95% confident that the true population proportion lies between this one and this one, 27.43% and 36.57%. So inilah cara untuk awak explain what do we mean by confidence interval. Kalau 95%, 95% confident. Kalau 98, 98. We are 95% confident that the true population proportion. Kalau soalan itu berkaitan dengan mean, we are 95% confident that the true population mean lies between what value. Okay, refer kepada soalan. But ayat dia lebih kurang. We are 95% confident that, okay, we are 95%. Okay, this one awak tukar. Lies between, this one awak tukar. Yang lain semua sama. Okay, sama ada proportion ataupun mean. And then the value awak tukar. The rest adalah sama in order for you to explain your confidence interval. Okay, let's look at our part C. What sample size would have been taken in order to estimate the percentage of error to within 2%? Okay, apa maksud dia? Okay, so soalan ni kita tahu kita nak cari estimation error. So estimation error, awak tahu formula dia. Okay, estimation error equal to Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N. Okay, and then tadi kita dah tengok Z alpha over 2. Our Z alpha over 2 is 1.26. This one done. N kita tak tahu because we want to find the sample size. So N is what you are going to find. Because we want to change the value of N so that the estimation error within 2%. Okay? So apa maksud dia? So saya nak within 2%. This one must be less than 0.02. 2% sama dengan 0.02. So my Z alpha over 2 is 1.96 square root. P saya adalah 0.3. Okay, Q saya adalah 0.68 and then this is my N 0.0. Okay, so now I can move up and down. Okay, so this one saya pindahkan square root naik atas 1.96 square root 0.32 0.68 divide by 0.02 less than square root of N. Okay, so I press my calculator. Okay, 1.96 times square root 0.32 0.68 divide by 0.02. So my square root of n is more than 45.715. Okay, I square both sides. 2089.8304 more than n. Therefore, my n is 2090. Okay, so this is how you determine your number of n awak, sample size awak, macam mana kita guna estimation error. Okay, so now let's look at one last example I took from checkpoint question number 11. Okay, before you start answering the question, baca soalan betul-betul, fahamkan soalan sama ada you are working with proportion or mean. Okay, so this one, a survey conducted by the traffic department in a city shows that 120 out of 500. So this one will give your proportion. This one is your n awak. Okay, 120 out of 500. That one is your proportion. Drivers in the city beat the traffic light. So that one will become your x. Obtain 95% confidence interval. Okay, so kita nak 95% confidence interval. So bila kita nak jawab, okay, seperti biasa kita lab dulu. X equals to number of drivers in the city who beat the traffic light. Okay, and then kita define our P because we are going to work in terms of P. So P saya adalah proportion of drivers, salin sahaja balik, in the city who beat the traffic light. So X saya will follow binomial and P. Okay, P saya adalah the proportion. So saya ambil 120 out of 500. So saya dapat 0.24. Okay, so step 1 done. Step 2, I must check NP and NQ. NP saya adalah 500 times 0.24, which is 120. 500 times 0.76, which is 380. And then kita tulis conclusion. Since NP more than 5, NQ more than 5, therefore normal approximation can be applied. Okay, so bila kita apply normal approximation, kita boleh tulis dalam bentuk PS, follow normal distribution P. PQ okay, Q saya adalah 76. Macam mana saya dapat 76? 1 minus P divide by N, 500. P PQ over N. Okay, so and then kita nak cari step 1, step 2, step 3 saya adalah 95% confidence interval. So my alpha is 0.05, alpha over 2 is 0.025, my z alpha over 2 is, okay, so kita kena sketching. This is my 0.95, 0.025, 0.025. So my z alpha over 2 adalah, okay, so kita buka dalam textbook kita, pergi ke page belakang sekali. Okay, so this one adalah z alpha over 2. So 95 plus 2.5, awak akan dapat 975. 1.96. Okay, so now kita tulis formula PS minus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N PS plus Z alpha over 2 PQ over N. So my PS adalah proportion saya 0.24 minus 1.96 square root PQ over N 0.24 0.76 500. Okay, so the same thing I copy 0.24 1.96 0.24 0.76 500. Okay, so now we press our calculator. Okay, berapa kita dapat? 0.24 minus 1.96 square root 0.24 0.76 divided by 500. Okay, this one saya dapat 0.2026. Okay, so now I change from minus to plus 0.2774. Okay, so that is my confidence interval. So we are done with part A. So let's look at part B. Okay, what do we mean by part B? Determine the smaller sample size. So you are required to calculate N, so that the estimated error, this is estimation error, does not exceed 0.04 at 90% confidence interval. This one is 95%. This one 90%. When you change your confidence level, okay, so awak tukar awak punya confidence level awak, you change your confidence level, your alpha will change, alpha over 2 will change, Z alpha over 2 will change. So you must find your new Z alpha over 2. Now we change our confidence level. So 90% confidence level. Okay. So awak tak perlu nak define yang sama daripada awal, because daripada awal semua benda masih sama. We are changing our confidence level sahaja. So my alpha is 0.1, 10%. Alpha over 2 is 0.05. My Z alpha over 2 is, I sketch once again. This is 0.9, 0.1, 0.1. And 0.05. Okay, so this one is 95. Okay, so kita tengok table kita. This is our Z alpha over 2. So look at your table. Berapa nilai Z alpha awak? Okay, buka table awak. Okay, 95, 1645. Okay, 1645. Now, apa yang kita nak? Estimation error. What is estimation error? Z alpha over 2 square root PQ over N. Okay, estimation error adalah half of your confidence interval. Okay, less than, does not exceed 0.04. So Z alpha over 2 saya ada 1.645. Square root P saya adalah 0.24 times 0.76 divided by N, because I want to calculate my N. Okay, and then I cross multiply 645 square root 2476. I divide by 0.04. This one square root of N. Okay, then you press your calculator. Okay, 1.645 times square root 2476 divided by 0.04. This one is 17.5638, more than less than the n, and then we square both sides. 308.486. Therefore, my n is 308.